Welcome to the Turn Your Book into a Business podcast, where we help non-fiction authors just like you sell more books, make more money, and build a business from what you know. Hi, I'm Brad Howe. This is episode 13 of the Book to Business podcast. This episode, we're having a look at New Year, New Me. Don't you love those positive statements that everybody makes in the new year? How everything's going to change? Well, I think it's a good way to start. We do need to look at the fact that we need to change things and we need to keep moving forward. But some things we need to keep the same. So in this podcast, I'm going to have a look at, starting your year right. I'm not going to dig too far into goal setting and all that sort of stuff because it's really not me. I keep it pretty simple, as you know. But what sort of things have you been doing over the Christmas-ish period break in your part of the world? I mean, for me, it is a chance to get a little bit of a break, to actually not think about work, to take a little bit of time with family, and to just ease back a little bit. So for the previous 3 months before Christmas here in Australia, I've spent a lot of time out organising fire crews and chasing bushfires and all sorts of things. So my stress levels were pretty high by the time we got round to about 2 days before Christmas. And come Christmas, it was really nice to put the tools down. We got a bit of rain, so the fires settled, and have a bit of time with family to just sleep, eat, play board games, have a bit of fun. One of the things about working for yourself, building a business from your book, is that you tend to spend, 24 hours a day thinking about it. So your mind never really stops. And you have to find those things, as I've mentioned before, that allow you to relax. So when I can, even if it's only for a couple of days, if I can just put everything down and just enjoy the world around me, I don't, not interact with my world when, it's not holiday time. Obviously, I see my kids and I play games with them and spend time with my wife and those sorts of things. But, come this time of year, it's just a chance to, shut all the doors to the office and walk away, check email, once a day, and that's it. So, my personal thoughts is, the new year and the time, from Christmas through to New Year really is, good for your mind, it's good for your family, and it is good for your business because you're taking a break. As I said, thinking about things 24 hours a day is not good for you. It's like you never turn off. When you have a job, you go to work, you come home, and if you're lucky, you can just close the door when you walk out of work and turn off. Now, it depends what your position is there. Often managers and other people carry extra loads home. But hopefully, you can shut the door and walk out. I like this time of year to think about things, to dream about possibilities, to plan and to postulate what I'm going to do. So if you work from home, my advice to you is you need to get away. Even if it's only 3 days. A 3-day break somewhere other than where you live, where you work, is really powerful. I mean, we don't even go as far as, to a different town even. Where we live on the Gold Coast, it's, has all resorts and that. So we spend a couple of days just near the beach and we walk across the beach each day and we don't drive anywhere. And even that is enough just to, settle everything down and relax. So what have I been doing? Well, obviously I had a little holiday with the family. Obviously, we're still swimming. The swimmer needs to swim, so he still needs to get to training because this year is a big year. I spent time at home just enjoying my house, which is sometimes really nice when you've been away a lot. Where I went to visit my oldest son in country New South Wales for 5 days, which was absolutely fantastic. And it's always nice to see him. It's a long drive, but it's a really good one to get back to the country, and two, obviously, to spend time with him and see how he's doing and what he's up to. And I've also spent a little bit of time just relaxing and thinking about what it is that I want to achieve this year. As I said, I'm not one for goals, but I like to set some goals in inverted commas, I suppose, that I'd like to achieve. Some things I'd like to get done. So I've been thinking about doing some workshops, producing new content. I've been designing some blueprints of stuff and infographics to help me teach some content to you guys. And working out, I want to fly here, I want to, do some workshops there, that sort of stuff. I haven't put dates to it yet. That I'll do over the next couple of weeks, and I'll start to book some tickets and set up some workshops, and then get the message out to everybody. And I've come up with some ideas for workshops which I think are interesting, which will help people, create products and to turn their book into a business. So this year I, was looking at everybody, and they were all talking about online, what is your word for the year? And I thought, oh, this is really interesting. You had the usual words like, leadership and change. And I thought, well, no, I need something that fits with what I'm doing. And so I decided my keyword for the year is actually Knowpreneurs. Now, you've heard me use this term before. A Knowpreneur is someone who makes money from what they know. And that's what you do. You take what you know, turn it into a book, you turn it into products, you turn it into a speech. We take what we know and we make money from it. So I'm going to be expanding on Knowpreneurs. I bought Knowpreneurs.com, and that is where I'm going to start to do stuff more. My focus this year is going to be building helping people build a big back end that would make a Kardashian jealous. Now, I'm not talking about the back end of you, I'm talking about the back end of your business. How to build a great business from your book. A nice big back end so that, if you're selling books and you're making $20, that's great, but wouldn't it be good if you turned that book into other products and you made $1,000 every time you sell a book because you could package it up? So I'm going to be focusing on helping you build a bigger back end than a Kardashian has. And I'm going to take that on the road with workshops. Now, I've been putting together live workshops, and I'm thinking about running them in Australia, also New Zealand, and I'm hoping to also take it to Singapore, and maybe further, just depending on what goes. But for this year, that's the goal, is to get things moving and to start to build those workshops and build a community of Knowpreneurs just like you who want to build a big back end to their book business. I'm going to be launching a private members group where people can come hang out, answer questions, learn, get training. Training will be included in there, all sorts of things. So a place where Knowpreneurs can learn from each other, learn from me, ask questions, get advice, all those sorts of things. So we can all help each other grow. One of the things I've also got in the pipeline is I'm going to be adjusting some of the courses that I've done previously that really target small businesses, so that they specifically target Knowpreneurs. And the reason for that is while the content and what I want you to learn is the same, there's some little tweaks, I suppose, for people who are using it to sell knowledge. Now, one of those courses is how to sell online, and I have a really good course called Virtually Famous. I want to take Virtually Famous and customize it specifically for authors, speakers, and Knowpreneurs. And the key, I suppose I'd like to take that course and help you learn how to promote yourself online and how to build a bigger business from your book, and then from that also developing a bigger back end. So what do you have planned for the next 90 days? In my experience, planning a year is too long. It's all right for putting dates like I'm going to have a workshop here, here, and here, but actually getting things completed, doing chunks of work, 90 days seems to be the maximum most people can focus. And also it means, if you look at it in chunks of 90 days, that's 3 months, which means that you can actually kind of get 4 good things done a year. Having a time set does help you, achieve more because you have a deadline. And most people need a deadline at work. The boss sets you a deadline and you've got to hit it. When you work for yourself, it's much harder to hit deadlines because, well, there's really no one driving you. But if you can set up your day and set up your deadlines for your 90 days, then at least you know it's coming up. You can put it in your calendar. You don't have to look miles ahead, and you can plan out your time. I'll need 2 weeks to plan this, then I'll need 3 weeks to record that, and then I'll need 5 weeks to transcribe it, or whatever it happens to be. You can break it down into little chunks that you can then follow, and each little chunk has a time limit on it, so another deadline. As I said, personally, I feel 1 year is too long. It's like it's never going to end. And suddenly, of course, it's the end of the year and you've got nothing done because you've spread it over too long a distance. So if you have something big that you'd like to do over the year, look at maybe breaking it down into 4 90-day sections, and rather than each section being, say, actionable, as in, plan this as one section, make it, plan and record, so you've got an actual product, or you've completed a new book, or whatever it is, within that time frame. So what keyword would you use for your year? As I said, I'm using Knowpreneurs, but what's a keyword that might help you, think about who your audience is going to be this year, or what you're trying to produce. So it might be new book, it might be the name of the book. What is it you've got there that you can put up on your wall? It just reminds you of where you're heading. I've got on my list here, define your focus. I think this is an interesting one. I saw a saying the other day that really, really kind of caught me, which was, where focus grows, energy flows. And I thought, wow, that's so true. Whenever I'm focused on something, it's like all my energy is devoted to that. And the minute my focus changes, I get pulled all over the place. So I'm actually thinking of putting that one on the wall, to be honest with you, and then putting Knowpreneurs below it. Mainly because, well, I'm the sort of person that loves bright, shiny objects. I suppose if I was a bird, I'd be a bowerbird. I'd be collecting little blue, shiny things. So, having that on my wall where I see it every time I sit at my desk, I think will help me a little bit this year. So I think I might type that up and then print it out on my printer and put it on the wall there so I can't miss it. So, set a keyword and maybe, define your focus around that keyword. Think about your 90 days, what you're going to achieve at the end of that 90 days, and then break it down. What are 3 things that you will have done that let you know that you've actually completed that 90-day plan? What is it when you get to the end? What are the 3 things that you'll go, I've done this, and I've done this, so therefore, yes, I've completed that. If you want to use the word goal, yes, I have completed that goal. So when you're actually completed, because just writing something generalistic like, I'll have written a new book, is a little bit general. You're better to say, I will have written, edited, and published, so there's 3 things, my new book. So have a think about that. As I said, 3 things. And then what are 3 things that you can do on a daily basis that you need to do over and over and over to achieve that end goal? So what are the 3 things? So if it's write a book, it might be, I need to write 1,000 words a day. That might be one of them. And you need to do that every day. And if you don't do that every day, you'll know, oh, I've missed something today that I need to do. Otherwise, I'm not going to hit my goal at the end of the 90 days. So that kind of brings me to the end of this little podcast. As I said, new year, new me. I don't know if it's a new me, but it's definitely a change of focus. I've been narrowing down, and now I'm really kind of focused in on what I want. I've been drawing all sorts of infographics and things to help me focus and also work out what I'm going to teach and what my workshops are going to be, etc. And I think while it's not a new me, it's certainly maybe a better me. And hopefully things will settle down here in Australia, and the fires will settle down as we move out of summer. Things are pretty bad down south at the moment, but certainly up where I am, things have settled a bit, and that will allow me to continue to focus and move forward with the growth of my business. But what are you going to do? Think about what is it that you're going to do over the next 90 days, and lay it out a bit so that you can move forward. And don't leave it another 5 days or another 10 days, because then your 90-day cycle is going to die. I mean, we're already on the 9th of January, I'm recording this, and that means that we've lost almost 10 days out of January already. And if you're doing a 90-day cycle, well, you've now got 80 days left in this chunk. So I hope this helps you move forward. Welcome to the new year. I can't wait to share it with you on this podcast. If you've got any questions you'd like to ask me, or it's something you'd like me to talk about on the podcast about turning your book into a business, please go to turnyourbookintoabusiness.com and send me a message, or catch up with me on Facebook. It's the easiest place to find me, and drop me a message, and I'd be only too happy to help. I'm Brad Houck. This is the Turn Your Book into a Business podcast, and I look forward to talking to you in the next episode.